Whether you're a lifelong keeper or just getting started, help us encourage responsible keeping, conservation, and public education in the interest of keeping our reptiles safe and healthy as we protect them for future generations. You're invited to spend time with us as we experience these awesome animals together on Intrepid Exotics. I'm muted. There we go. I'm unmuted. Awesome. Hope everybody's doing good tonight. As usual, another crazy busy last couple days. These animals keep us hopping, especially with the events of yesterday. The video that came out earlier today was filmed yesterday. I finished up editing this morning and got it out. And yeah, we had a little bit of a scare there with Niles managing to sneak through the door. For those of you guys that hadn't seen that, maybe I'll put that up a little bit later so we can check that out. And of course, you can always go check out the video. I had a really good time with them, just working with Tigger a little bit and so forth. I wanted to get out Monty, our big female retic, but she is in blue. I don't want to put her through that. So guess who's up here with us tonight? Got our big male up here, the same one that was in that video, all grumpy and stuff like that. So it should be a lot of fun. We'll get him out here in a little bit. And you can see, actually, if you look right over there, Chloe's up there all over the place. I have to hang out with her a little bit too. Well, let's see who all is on. Laura's here. Good to see ya. Sam said he might be a little bit quiet because he just had carpal tunnel work today. So hopefully that heals up for you pretty quick. Greg, good evening, sir. Good to see you, Erica and Al and Kemp. Brandon is here. Donna as well. Good to see you. How you doing, Nicole? Yep, of course. We're fully prepared with the coffee as usual. I definitely need it today. I could have went to bed an hour ago and not felt the least bit bad about it. So Judd is with us. Yeah, when do I not have a busy last couple of days? It takes a lot of self-discipline sometimes to step away for a day and just say, okay, I'm not going to do anything today. Doesn't happen very often, though. Rock. See, I like that when you keep me in check. Where's the USARK banner at? There it is. And, of course, we're going to go over our regular USARK goings on. There's been a lot of stuff. We went over it last week. The Louisiana stuff is really, really important. So if you're from Louisiana, or if you know a reptile keeper in Louisiana, tell them to come on and at least hang out for the first little bit of this until we get through that. There's some stuff they need to do. Sophia, how you doing? Hey, what's going on, Eric? No cookies tonight. I'm trying to stay away from the cookies. It's hard enough carrying the snakes around the backyard in the summer, as opposed to all of the extra weight. You know, I figured it out too. Here last summer, I weighed just as much as I did back when I was in the Army carrying a 60-pound rucksack. So, I wonder why my knees are bad. So we're working on it. Absolutely. How you doing, Fred? Yep. Good advice. Get down there and hit the like button. That helps us out immensely. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember Nicole saying that she was going to make, she said she just finished 46 ounces of cookie dough. That reminds me, I've still got a chocolate shake in the freezer. All this talk about losing weight, and I've still got one of those to tackle. So, hey, the mother is in the house. Hello. Good to see you. Megan is here. I love that horse picture. I'm going to have to find a picture I got of my daughter when she was young. There was a time in the land long, long ago when I used to do a little bit of work with horses. And I got a really awesome picture of my daughter when she was maybe 6 or 7 years old, something like that. She's standing on the side of the fence that I'm on, and the dog is standing right in front of her, and the horse is standing on the other side of the fence with his neck curled around, touching noses with the dog, with my daughter standing there petting his neck. Awesome picture. I need to find it. I do kind of miss those days. Hey, what's going on, Rocco? Good to see ya. Wow, surgery on Monday. I remember my knee surgery. That was pretty unpleasant. Funny story about that, too. The Army is the ones that tried to fix my knee. So I go in, kind of shows you what my drug tolerance is. They told me that it was like, we're going to give you a little something just to kind of mellow you out. And then when we get you in the OR, we're going to knock you out. But whatever they gave me to mellow me out, put me out. Because I don't remember anything until I woke up. So I wake up and nurse comes in. This male nurse comes in and says, well, doc wants you to start putting weight and standing on your knee just as soon as we're done and anesthesia wears off. I had an ACL reconstruction. They cut out part of my hamstring and thread that through my knee and replace my ACL. But when they numbed my left leg, I had sympathetic numbing in my right leg. So I didn't have the strength. I had like maybe 20-30% strength in my good leg. And the guy they sent in to help me was on crutches himself. It didn't go well. I was on my ass on the floor as the surgeon came around the corner. I wish they would have had somebody a little bit more prepared to carry my dead weight. And then it was a lot of fun, too, when I got home because my leg was still numb. So couldn't step up with the crutches over the threshold. So I ended up just turning around, scooting on my ass all the way through the house, up the stairs. Got in bed and stayed there for a while. And surgeries are never fun. If you guys got anything interesting to point out here, feel free to jump in. And let's look at the USARK stuff really quick. For those of you guys that missed it last week, and we've also got some really important stuff that you guys need to jump on in Louisiana, like I said. So, see if I can remember how to do this. Where's it at? Where's it at? It's right there, and it's right there. Doo-doo. Okay, so like we pointed out last week, for those of you guys that are skeptical about USARK and you don't join because you don't know exactly what it does, there's 3 different cases out there that have been tabled or shut down because of the attention generated by USARK. One of them is in Arizona, the warrantless animal seizure. They're saying it was tabled and held with no vote due to overwhelming public opposition. How do you think the public finds out about it? Typically, USARK. Colorado, the pet tax for all animals, that again was shut down. So we're really happy about that. South Carolina, that is not as bad. They're working through some stuff down there. And the animal program ban in Washington was also shut down. There was a lot of stakeholders voicing their opinion, and yeah. So it really does matter. It really does help. And when USARK puts out these alerts and everybody participates, we actually can impact the stuff. Now, up to the important thing. Louisiana, Phil Goss was just down there. I don't know if he's still down there or not. But the deadline for public input is March 7th. So if you live in Louisiana, definitely get on the USARK website here. You can go to the read more part. It'll tell you where to put everything. It'll give you, where to send all the information. It'll even help you with what to say. It'll tell you exactly what it says. If you want to make sure that you're getting educated really well on the legislation before you remark on it. So all that stuff is there. Make sure we do that. Now, I don't know in this case, because a question comes up, should people from out of state send emails and whatnot? When I heard Jeremy and Phil talking about it, they said specifically the Louisiana folks. And typically when they really drill down on Louisiana folks, that means that that's where the most of the impact's going to come from, is that. So, like I said, really something that we want to make sure any of the keepers down in Louisiana are aware of and participating in. The actual legislation down there is it's about expanding bans and permit regulations on many different species of snakes and so forth. I think there's some lizards and stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on there that definitely encourage everybody to read through. So Fred says it's at their auction in March. Okay. Now I've seen Phil put some stuff up, both on the Louisiana Reptile Keepers page, and I don't remember. I think it was the USARK page instead of his. But a lot of stuff they're doing down there, trying to fight this and keep all of this stuff off the books. Should be really good. So we're going to, but yeah, we had a matter of fact. Let me jump in here and see if I can find this real quick. We'll pull this up since it was such a unique thing. A lot of you guys may already be aware of the fact that I had the put that door on Niles' enclosure so that I could use it to put the animals in and give them a little bit more room to play and stuff like that. Well, had a little incident. I'm going to scroll through and find this real quick. It won't take me but a second. Taking him out of there. I'm just going to play this little segment for you guys, which was kind of concerning. Let's see. This thing out. Here we go. And just bear with me just a second. I'll make sure I get this thing right. All right. Let me share the screen out. Hey, Gerald, how are you? Good to see you. Let's see, I'm going to share. Let's see. Share the tab. Not that one, not that one. There it is. Share that one. I should have some audio on here once I do that. Let's see. There you go. It's a good boy. And this is what I mean too when I talk about, the only way past that little negative experience is making sure they're supported and handling them right, stuff like that. So this was a pretty good tool. Okay. We just kind of narrowly avoided a pretty bad situation here. When we build new things, we think we've got such ingenious new ideas until we realize the things that we didn't think about. So we've got a little re-engineering to do on that to make sure that doesn't happen again. And just appreciate the fact that we got really lucky that he didn't manage to get a hold of that tail. Right? Okay. Come on. So yeah, that was my excitement yesterday. Really worried. As soon as I see Niles' head come out of there, man, I was like, oh my God, no. This is going to be nasty. But, the reason why I put that up there is simply because it shows that anything can happen. You got to make sure you're thinking about everything. I didn't even really give it a second thought when I was putting that door in there. I was like, I'll just slide the other block up there. It'll be fine. But, of course, when you're pulling that snake down, you got to pull the block down. It gives a lot of flex here. So I'm going to go in there tomorrow sometime and just put down some tracks and stuff like that. So that'll hold all that stuff together and keep him from being able to push it out. So, hey, Chuck, good evening. See, Kelp says, really been working on our educational program presentation for the last week. Do you mind going over what you include in your safety spiel to people when you have them interacting with animals? We can certainly talk about that. I'll talk about that in just a second. Just want to make sure that we don't get too far behind. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Eric was watching that earlier. Yeah, it was definitely pucker time. Judge said he took one of your coworkers screamed and ran away when he licked his eyeball. How do you scream and run away from a Cresty, man? You're just way too cute. Rock said his excitement was when he went to feed his red that he's target training and he struck the target. Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay, cool. So, talking about the educational program safety brief that we give. See if I can give a quick synopsis without getting too crazy about it. A couple things to think about when you're setting up public education stuff. One of which is you really don't ever want to do it by yourself. You can with some stuff, but then again, it goes right back to the same concept of, if you're bringing big snakes out, you don't handle them by yourself. You got somebody else there. You want to have somebody else there that knows what they're doing instead of asking one of the crowd to come out. If you're out there by yourself with a really big snake, it could be bad and they're not going to know what to do to help. Plus, really bad PR nightmare. And plus, it's a lot more helpful to have, multiple people can bring multiple animals out and stuff like that. So, if you're depending on one being like the star of the show or something like that, they go into shed, maybe they get sick, maybe they catch a case of mites and you can't take them out, stuff like that. You're going to have more animals there and it won't be a total bust. Plus, a lot of people can have a lot more diversity. So, people can see tortoises and lizards and snakes and run the whole gambit. It's a lot better for everybody. So getting a small group of people together that you really trust, that are really good handlers, and everybody bringing out different species and things like that really helps to enhance the whole experience. Plus, it's safer. It's easier to manage folks when you've got more experienced handlers out there. So you kind of start from that point. And then what I do is, of course, we have the discussions with the folks that are hosting it. So you're, just like with the museum, you sit down with the director and you kind of go over a plan. This is where we want to set up at. How many people are we expecting to have? How old are they expected to be? How many chaperones are we going to have? All of this stuff you kind of talk about ahead of time, get it ironed out. And then once that starts, once we show up, about an hour, 30 minutes before we actually start letting people in, we'll call the chaperones in first and just let them know that, to pay attention to the areas that we've got cordoned off, that they need to let everybody know that they don't need to be running behind tables and stuff like that, crossing lines, just running up to animals and stuff like that, making sure everybody knows just to be really slow and deliberate and waiting until you've got a direct communication from whoever's got that animal that they can come up and interact with. It's really important with the bigger snakes because when I take those out, whether we're outside, if we're outdoors, I'll cone and rope off the entire area where that animal is going to be, and I'll have one spot where people can come in. That way people aren't rushing in from behind and stuff like that. And however you set it up, it's going to be different depending on the venue and so forth. But you just really reiterate to them how important it is that the crowd's controlled and organized. And if there's any kids out there that have got behavioral problems, who want to yell, scream, jump, run, just run up and grab animals and stuff, somebody's got to have the presence of mind to get them out of there. And you don't really see that very often. Every now and then, with the ones that we've done. There's that one kid that somebody just needs to put a leash on and take home. So it's something to be aware of, but typically not a problem. But yeah, basic stuff, making sure that they don't approach any of the animals until they're invited to, making sure that they're not reaching out to grab any of the faces of the animals. Stay away from their mouths. They've all got teeth. They can all bite. And if you frighten them or something like that, then they can certainly get hurt. I mean, other than really controlling the crowd, it's not too bad. It's just setting expectations with them ahead of time, making sure everybody's on the same sheet of music, making sure that you're setting up a controlled area. And there was something else that I was thinking of right on the top of my head that I didn't say as I'm scrolling through these comments and stuff as well. There's the issue with the insurance as well. You can get some presenters insurance and stuff like that that'll cover your butt in case something does happen. But that's what I was going to talk about. But we focus, I just assure everybody that, our first priority is the safety of the guests that are going to be there. The second priority is the safety of the animals. And of course, the health of the animals as well. Something to take into consideration. Even if the people that you're working with, they're trustworthy and stuff like that, we've all got to make sure we're bringing healthy animals out. Typically, it's not a really good idea to bring a big snake out if they're in shed, because they can just be a little bit more sensitive and touchy and stuff. If there's any signs of infections or mites or something like that, leave them at home, because there's going to be a lot of cross contact and stuff. We always keep a lot of hand sanitizer out on the tables and stuff, so that, in between stations, people use that, kind of clean up a little bit. But we also, everybody that brings them out to our events, we check our animals, we make sure they're good, there's no mites, there's no, they're healthy animals when we bring them out there. But, anything can be missed, so we still, take precautions as well. And it generally goes over pretty well. So that's kind of my spiel in a nutshell. If you look back at the videos, I've got the latest one from the museum. I think I've caught video of giving the safety briefing to the staff that was out there. And those guys were really good. We got here. This looks like an interesting story. Rocco talking about an alligator trainer brought an alligator to a party. She was attacked by it. Oh, man. Yeah, that's terrible. You just don't bring a friggin' alligator to a party like that and let anybody get close enough to get bit. I just noticed in the background Chloe back there. Right there. Climbing around tonight. She's been all full energy lately. Let's see. Hey, Bert. Good to see you. Lena, good evening. Let's see. Lena has some kind words. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right. Oh. See, what's this? Fred was asking, does USARK have a site to show where the reptile rescues are and help people find them? I'm actually not sure if they've got any rescues on their page or not. I'm just going to browse through here real quick. They typically stay pretty basic on what they've got on here. They've got a lot of kind of guidelines. I've got the best management practices section on there, where they talk about best practices for reptile shows and public health, public safety, stuff like that. But I don't see anything on there about reptile rescues, and it can be tricky, man. Jessica, a friend of ours out here, she runs a rescue. It's not specifically a reptile rescue. It's for native wildlife. But it can be tough sometimes. The animal rescues, almost all of them are either individually funded or run strictly off contributions, and they don't get near as many contributions as they should. So it can be difficult to keep up with the enclosures and vet bills and all that stuff. Yep. Yeah, Greg reiterating having controlled access is key. Also staying calm. Absolutely. Everybody's nice and calm and not rushing the animals and stuff like that. They're much less likely to get stressed out. Hey, Michael, how you doing tonight, buddy? Another key point on the educational stuff is knowing your animals and when they've had enough people. You can tell if you take your animals out, that's another good thing about having multiple people out there with multiple animals is when it looks like your animal's starting to get tired or kind of wants to be left alone, you just put them in a tub, let them relax a little bit. Sometimes if we're doing stuff outdoors in the summertime, the temperatures will get so hot that we've just got to take everybody in. If we don't have an air-conditioned building to take them into, then we'll put them in air-conditioned vehicles, which ends up shortening the event. Long outdoor stuff can be difficult to do in the summertime because, if you don't have, say you've got one of these black tubs, like this one back, like the one back here, I'm getting ready to pull Tigger out of in a little while. If you've got one of those things out in the summertime and you don't have it in the shade, even if you do have it in the shade, sometimes those things get hot and hot enough to cause problems for your animals. So being aware of them like that is definitely. Let's see. Let's see. How many days do I feed before I take my big snakes there? Typically, kind of depends. For my big snakes, I try not to feed them for at least a week before we go out. My bigger ones tend to eat every 2 to 4 weeks, kind of depending on the size of meal that they get. It fluctuates. So I give them at least a week, typically. Definitely don't want to just feed them and then have them out there getting all, messed with and all that stuff while they still got a food bump. But a week's a good safe number to go by, especially with big snakes, like I said, because they don't eat as frequently as the smaller ones many times. Oh yeah. A couple was saying she's more concerned at the educational events what somebody else is going to do to the animals. Yeah, I've had a couple times where I've just about had to snatch a kid up because they just come running right up, and no matter how many times you tell some of them, man, you'll still see them coming up and trying to start petting them, just going right towards their face. So you really got to keep an eye on everything and get really good at controlling everybody's access. Kids these days, it's a little bit different than it was when I was a kid. Let's put it that way. Yeah, I think I've been watching her all over the place back there. I think I'm going to get her out first. She just wants some attention. Athena, my little Burmese back here, she has just been an attention whore the last week or two. Really bad. She's quiet now because I had her out for a long time today, but every single time I get close to her enclosure, man, her head is right there. Get Chloe out and see what she wants. What's up, girl? I'm going to turn the camera over here on her, too, so you can kind of see what she does. Hey, crazy girl. Of course. You want to come out? Want something else for a bit? And of course, she'd be wrapped twice around this log in there. No, stop wrapping it. Come on. You know how this works. Come on. It is a big reason too why if you've got a snake that's really skittish about handling and stuff, having a lot of climbing stuff in there is bad for her. Because if she was really scared, I'd have a hell of a time getting her unwrapped from this thing. It's already taken forever. Come on, girl. Out you go. There we go. Get off of there. Crazy girl. This is one girl, of course, I am really excited to see get big. Let her come hang out for a little while. I really wish I'd have been able to get Monty out here because she's such a sweet snake to work with, and she's really, for the most part, pretty mellow. Okay, hang out of the chair. You're good. Get that working again. So this is Chloe. She is our lavender female mainland. And for those of you guys that are kind of newish and don't know the story behind her, kind of was brought to my attention at second, third hand that somebody had a reticulated python and needed a home. When I got over there, she was ice cold with no water and a roach infested empty house. And not in really great shape. She was kind of dirty. Wasn't particularly happy. But it was really cool. The very first time I seen this girl, she was under a hide that was way too small for her. And first time I seen her, I just lifted the hide up, picked her up, and she just went straight to my chest. Started trying to warm herself up and has been like this ever since. She's just the sweetest thing. And she has got so much energy. Let's see. Outstanding. Yeah, Bert just got his USARK membership here not too long ago. Hey, Alex, good evening. Sees the retic in the bag. Yeah, there's Tigger. This is going to be a lot of fun. He's a trip. I kind of second guessed bringing him out on a live stream, but you guys might get to watch him destroy my office. We'll see. Oh, yeah. She was wanting to come out. Rocco was saying his red-tailed boa is not a people person. Even mine, man. My boa is the sweetest animal alive, and he never looks like he's a people person until you get him out. Oh, Heather, good evening. How are you? Mm-hmm. Alex was asking when I'm working with large snakes, who do I trust to be around? Trust anybody that can follow directions. anytime I've got one of my snakes out and I'm working with them, as long as somebody can, is capable of understanding the instructions that I'm giving to them about what to do, what not to do, and stuff like that, you can run through it in about 15 seconds, 20, 30 seconds or something. So, it's not too bad. Plus, all of the animals that I bring out when I'm working with somebody else are socialized. I don't have any stone cold killers or anything like that I bring out to expose them to people. I don't want to make the newspaper. Let's see. Yeah. She will disappear on you quick, though. I'll let her hang out in the chairs like that sometimes, and she'll stay for the longest time, just minding her own business, and then I turn around, she's halfway across the floor. So, see, Heather was asking how old she is. I can only guess on how old she is. A couple of years, maybe, just kind of based on what her size is. Like I said, I didn't have any other information on her except that she needed a better home. So. Too short to Chloe being Swifty. Yeah, I kind of made a joke about that, and a couple people decided to lambaste me over. You should grow your channel based on your own comment and don't piggyback off of somebody else's name popularity. Like, okay, cool. But I really think it was because they didn't like Taylor Swift, because I do have snakes named Jay and Silent Bob that he didn't have a problem with. So there's something to be said for having a little intellectual consistency. Some people take ideas and just run entirely too far with them. Let's see. What else we got here? Brandon says you can't believe I'm actually going to bring Tigger out. Well, I've been saying for the last couple of weeks I was going to bring one of the bigger snakes out, and I try to be true to my word. Hey, man, we're doing good here. We're staying busy, of course, as always. Hey, what's going on, Travis? Good to see you. Oh, yeah. Greg was talking about his boas. Yeah, mine are really chill too. Or my one that I have is really chill. So. Hey, Travis, you in Louisiana? Let's see. Mystic Mountain Morphs is here. Hello, how are you tonight? Alex is asking how long it took to make Niall's enclosure. 1 day. Now, granted, I had a lot of the other stuff done when I expanded it, so the framing around the tub was already done from a smaller iteration of that enclosure. But as far as the rest of it, framing, doors, wire and everything like that, I did it all in 1 day because I had that 1 6-foot enclosure that I could hold Niles in until his new enclosure was done. So that morning, I really pissed him off, put him in that little box. It was equally as long as he is. And he had to stay in there all day, so I hurried up and got that thing built just as quick as I could. So it was a 1 day project. And you guys will see when we get moved, I really nail down on these projects and try and get them done pretty quickly. So we should see a lot of 1 day enclosure builds coming up. Let's see. Okay. All right, we're all caught up on that stuff. Do you want to? I know you don't want to go home, but we've got to get your cousin out. You can see what kind of mood he's in tonight. See if he completely destroys the office. I tell you, some of these animals that are here are just freaking perfect. She's going to be so much fun when she grows up. That's a pretty girl. Let's get you put away. See what Tigger's doing. Yeah, sweetness. Get in there. Kind of hoping she grows out of this kink in her tail too. She's got two kinks, one right at the end, one up a little ways. This one's really bad. And it's like a damn 45-degree bend in her tail. Clearly from where somebody closed the door on her. So, okay. Let's see what our Tiggle is doing here. I guess I'll point this out really quick. When you've got a big snake in a bin like this, it's always a good idea to open it this way. That way, if for some reason they're agitated or they want to strike at something, you kind of got a shield right here. So you can pull it back, see what their state of mind is before you set it off to the side. Hey, bud. You wait. Wait. I'm going to give him just a second to kind of, you guys can see him up there. I'm going to give him just a second to get his wits about him. He's been in this dark box the whole time we've been talking. Let's see if he just comes over and says hi. He probably won't, but I'm still going to give him a minute to just let his eyes adjust to the light and stuff like that. That's one thing, and I can't remember for the life of me the name of the guys. They made a video with Clint, and I think it published today because I saw it today. Could have been older, but I thought it was published today. Where the guys were talking about how they don't really hook train the traditional way. It's talking about how they use time to just, let the animals figure out what's going on. And we do that as well in conjunction with the hook and stuff like that. But, it makes a lot of sense from the perspective that these guys were talking about it. When they go in, they open the enclosure to feed, they throw the food right in there. So, the animals are reacting right off the spot. And if they leave it open and nothing happens, the animals kind of pick up on the fact that, okay, it's time to get handled. So, there's a lot of merit to that because, a lot of times when I'm working with these guys, I'll just open the enclosure and instead of going straight in with the hook, I just give them a couple minutes to let them figure out what's going on. A lot of times that's enough. Come on, bud. Come on. Are you going to come out, hang out? Come on. There you go. Oh, come on, dude. Yeah. He's not in a bad mood at all. This is just a stubborn snake. He's you know, he might be over 10 years old, but he's still got the mentality of a 2-year-old child that just wants to do whatever in the hell he wants to do. Get right, bud. And he's just going to spend some time checking stuff out. Such a bad snake to have in my office. Because there is zero room in here. But I'm going to wait to see what he does for a little while. Erica's asking if Tigger's in a better mood. Outstanding. Thank you, Heather. Yeah, snake envy. Yeah. But it had some really good points, too. I mean, we really push hook training and stuff like that because I think whichever way you decide to go about it, you know, if you change your handling styles and stuff like that as you get more confident with them, there's nothing wrong with finding a good technique that works for you and works for the animals and stuff like that. But like for beginners and stuff like that, or if you're not completely comfortable with the animals, and you can't go wrong with hooks. So I think part of what they was talking about too was like the grab techniques of just going right in and grabbing the snakes, like we did with Bob. Yeah, just going right in quickly and getting them out and getting them calmed down. So maybe I can link that video in the description. They had some good stuff to talk about on there. Yeah, it's just like the Lori Torini stuff, yeah, that she does. It's got all of the choice-based handling and everything. Like with this guy right here, choice-based handling goes out the window because his choice is always something's going to get his ass in trouble. So we got to manhandle him quite a bit most of the time. But he keeps wanting to go back into the tub now, which is such a pain because, you know, if you watch on any other day when I take him out of the enclosure and he's supposed to be going into his water, he fights going in the tub. Now he's sitting out here and he just wants to go back in the tub and not be on camera. There you go. We try not to let him go over both shoulders like that, but there you go. There you go. Say something into the camera, man. Oh, man. God, he's heavy. There we go. So I bring him. Damn, bud. But when I brought him up here, I brought the tub up first. I didn't bring him up in the tub. I wrapped him around me and carried him up here. But man, as soon as he hit the stairwell, that kind of new environment with him, yeah, God, did he hang on. Tell you what, man, it's one thing about these guys is, you know, he's only about 80 pounds, but it's 80 pounds solid muscle. And when he decides he wants to hang on, go somewhere. You go, bud. You good? Oh, here we go. Now he wants to start wrapping me up. Here it comes, and there it goes. Oh, you goofball. Yeah, don't go through there. Of course, he's going to try and go through a hole in the chair. Come on. Come on, buddy. There we go. That's what I mean. Perfect 2-year-old. There you go. Please slide down so I can sit down. But no, don't go out the window. Come here. You get over here and relax just for a minute. And there's a reason why I'm doing all this wrestling around with him that I'll go into in a minute. No, get your head out of there. Okay. I think we finally got him chilled out just a little bit. Get your head up there in the camera and say hello to everybody. There you go. Get out of there. There we go. So, one of the points that I like to make when we're working with these big guys like this, one of them is, I'm done fighting with you, bud. You're going to have to go back in your box now. And now he doesn't want to go back in there. There we go. Back stuff around. They get such a grip, man. God, freaking amazing how strong these guys are. Nope. If you guys can see me flat handing his head when he comes up and not getting bit. There we go. Definitely not much room to work with that guy in here. But glad I got fans going. So I escaped without the office getting destroyed. Pretty happy about that. Go back. Oh yeah. Mr. Mountain Wharf, thank you. Don't forget to hit the like button. I worked for it tonight. Bert says lift with your knees. Real Tactic, good evening. How are you? All right, I'm going to roll through these things really quick, make sure I didn't miss anything. And, oh yeah, Bob wants to talk. Hey, Jordan, how you doing? Let the chaos begin, yeah. Yeah, he is a gorgeous animal. Yeah. I do got to admit, I did get a little bit worried when his head went in there, but at least he's smart enough to realize that he can't get through there, and he pulled himself out. So, but one thing that I wanted to point out, and I do this, anytime we're really working with these guys, is you talk about how retics are reactive, how I really got to be so careful with them and stuff like that. But they are so incredibly tolerant. That whole time that he was up here, his environment changing and all that stuff, getting out, wrestling around, trying to get through a hole too small for him and all this other stuff, trying to go out the window that I've got open. Any number of things that he was doing. Just they're so tolerant. There was never any aggression there. A couple times that he's hanging on kind of tight because he's trying to move a certain direction and anchor himself. But when you see a lot of newer keepers working with him, the first time one of them bigger snakes starts to latch on to him to hang on or something, they can get kind of scared. And admittedly, I've had a couple times, early on, a couple big snakes that have gotten a hold of me, and I was like, oh wait, what's gonna happen? But they weren't near as reliable as him. But you can see even from the video yesterday, and I'll pull that up and show you guys that segment of it too while we're on the topic. Can't hurt. I'm not going anywhere. It's only 9 o'clock. Let's see. Just back up. But I'll show you what his whole thing was yesterday. If you missed that video, I really encourage you guys to watch it. I think there's a couple of good things on there. But it is preset. And it wouldn't have been quite so bad were it not. If it was Monty, my female, she's a little bit more mellow. Tigger here, man, he's just, even when I get him outdoors, first chance he gets, man, he just takes off, and it's all he does. It's great. Let's see here. And you can kind of spare the audio and stuff, but there's a scene coming up in just a second. There we go. See, this was him downstairs in the enclosure yesterday. After running around for a little while, he was just exploring, and he just got into a mood where he didn't want to be messed with at all. And that can be kind of a tricky spot to deal with when you're trying to get one of these guys out. There's really no way to avoid. If they decide to strike at you, there's not really too many different ways you can avoid getting hit. So you can kind of see how he was situated right back in that corner there. And I guess this is a good point to go over here too. What I'm doing is I got the hook back because I don't know. I can't tell what his level of leave me alone is. I don't know whether it's, just casual, I don't want to be messed with, or if it's I'm getting ready to take a strike at you if you don't leave me alone. So even though, even with that short hook, he could have still got me. But I was just using it, trying to get his frame of mind changed, to get him moving and exploring again so that I could get him out. And he was kicking around pretty good there for a minute. And of course, this was right before the thing with the monitor lizard. But yeah, you see, he's just kicking me off and doesn't want to move. He doesn't want to run. He's at least being nice enough to not take a strike at me, but he's telling me to leave him the hell alone. And oddly enough, man, these guys, when they get stuck in a spot, it can be kind of difficult to get them to move. He got lodged in behind that block and stuff. And all I'm doing right here is just trying to get him moving in a different direction, instead of trying to pull him out like that. This all looks so clumsy. It doesn't always look good. But see, as soon as he starts running and stuff like that, pull him out, etc., etc. That was our fun with him. Like I said, he was pretty grumpy yesterday. Oh, let's see. He was asking if it was a defensive pose. I guess you're talking about when he was tucked away in that corner right there. And yeah, he was really defensive. Just did not want to be messed with. Yeah, Jordan, I don't know. You'll have to, if you missed the video that I put out today, that partition doesn't work as well as I thought it might. I've got to go in there tomorrow and put some tracks on it, because after I pulled him out of that corner, after I pulled him out of that spot, I had to slide that cinder block out of there, which was the resistance on that door that kept Niles from coming out of it. So as soon as I pull that rock away, Niles stuck his head out and started getting entirely too close to Tigger's tail. So yeah, I've got to fix that and re-engineer that door there a little bit tomorrow. That is, man. It was just like, he didn't want anything to do with that. All right, Sam, get some rest, man. Hope you heal up quick. So anyway, we had a lot of fun with him yesterday. And Niles, of course, same way. He's been doing so much better. Oh, man. Coffee number 2. Oh. Okay. I think we may end up having run out of things to say for tonight. Get all the USARK news out of the way. Wrestle around Tigger a little bit. So I get him back down, get him taken back home, get him all squared away. Let's see. Talking about getting a red tegu. I guess there's something about North Market that I'm not familiar with. Matter of fact, I'm not familiar with North Market. I'm on cup number 2 already, too. Upcoming stuff. I know Cody actually contacted me tonight. Cody Allen from Intrepid Exotics. He's got a birthday party that he's going to be doing. So probably with the amount of animals that he's bringing out there, I probably won't even need to bring any of mine. He's bringing tortoises, his 20-foot retic, and he's got a couple other things that he's bringing, I'm for sure. Monitor lizard and so forth. So we'll probably end up recording a lot of that. If not anything at the birthday party, of course, that's going to depend on them. Definitely don't want to go in. We want to respect their privacy and stuff like that. Not just going to go out and start recording birthday parties and whatever. If they want us to, cool. If not, we'll probably end up putting something together after the fact. And putting something out about that. Yeah, Michael was asking who some good berm breeders were. I could pull some retic breeders right off the top of my head, but I really don't know too many people that breed Burmese. If anybody knows, by all means, let us know. But see, with me too, I mean, the reason why I know certain breeders is because I'm friends with them. I haven't bought a snake in a while, so, and until I get more room, I'm not going to be buying any for a while. As soon as we get more room, of course, the enclosures are going to start coming, and we're going to start doing it. Hey, awesome. Super chat from Snakes in the Garage. Appreciate it, man. I blame you for me getting retics. a berm and now trying my best not to get an Asian water monitor. I'm a really bad influence when it comes to reptiles, man. There's been more than one person over the last couple of years that's contacted me and said, for asking me questions about what retics are like to keep and stuff like that. I warned them ahead of time. I was like, as soon as you get your first one, you're going to have 10. And it's happened to more than one person. They get their first one. It's like, oh my God, I love this thing. Before you know it, they've got 5 or 10 retics running around. Yeah. Jason, he does. He works with Jason's Exotics. You can find him on YouTube. I don't see him on Facebook very often. But yeah, Jason's got boas and berms. So. Let's see. I've not kept savanna monitors. Alex is asking if I'd ever done anything with savannas. I haven't kept any of those yet. Monitors I've kept are Niles, Haitian water monitors, and mangroves. I haven't done savannas yet. Oh, wow. Yeah, Jordan has been doing some breeding. He's got some pretty awesome animals out there. It'd be nice to see what he's got going on in the future. See, here's when Judd was mentioning he can't personally vouch for it because he's never done business with him, but he knows of Will Banks breeds berms. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Kevin probably does too. He breeds everything. Yeah, Jason's pretty cool, man. I'd like to see him start putting out more YouTube videos. Every now and then he'll put out a new one, but he does some pretty good stuff. He does a really good job of explaining things, and he's got some really good animals to use. Plus, he's a breeder too, so of course, with him being a breeder and I'm not, he's a lot more capable of answering those questions. I think Demeryl's boas are awesome. All boas are awesome. All snakes are awesome. Yeah, you can't go wrong with Demeryl's. And they're gorgeous animals too. I'm trying to think of something else I could touch on real quick. Yeah. Rocco was asking whatever happened to the Slither exotic guy. He moved out of state. So right about the time everything was coming out about him and that whole situation was about the same time that he moved from North to South Carolina. So in that transition, some would say that things didn't get addressed properly. So we've got videos out about that from around that time frame. But yeah, I wouldn't expect outside of the community response. I really wouldn't expect to hear too much more about that. Yeah, rainbow boas are great. Rainbows are definitely on the short list. Those are just gorgeous animals. I know, man. Just like that one that Kevin had the other day. Put out a video of that thing growling at him. Yeah. Yeah, Slither's still selling stuff, but I know He's off Morph Market. Anyway, sells for him is off Morph Market. There's shows that have put him out. So he's getting a lot of community pressure because of it. But I mean, it's literally, there's not a whole lot more that's going to happen. And I don't know. The whole Bob Clark drama around Morph Market, too, I don't even keep up with it. You know, him and Darian having some back and forth or something like that. Hey, all right, Nicole. Have a good night. Yeah, definitely agree with that. Unfortunately, we're legally bound with what can be done, really. Let's see. Yeah, I've made that mistake before too, confusing Rob Clark and Bob Clark. Rob Clark's out here in North Carolina somewhere. He's another retic breeder. Yeah, Polands are awesome. Kevin's gonna actually Cody. I don't know if he's gonna bring that out or not. He just recently picked up a Polands not too long ago. Okay. Well, I guess I need to get this snake back downstairs. And what we got here? Megan's got a good question. Explain the difference in behavior with having an Argentine tegu versus an Asian water monitor. Man, it depends. I can start by saying that I think Asian water monitors are probably the most socializable, pleasant animals to work with as far as monitor lizards go. Big lizards in general. But there again, tegus can have a really great disposition as well. You do have to worry about brumation and stuff like that with tegus, and I've seen more people have difficult to work with tegus than I have seen difficult to work with Asian water monitors. Like the Asian water monitor that I've got here is just, ever since he's gotten here, he's taken everything like a trooper. A couple minutes of working with him, and he is completely chilled out and just does not care about anything. Just wants to run around and check stuff out. My tegu isn't quite to that level. I take him out and I interact. Well, I take her out and interact with her and stuff like that. She does just fine. But she's still a little bit touchy about things like going outside, being around people and stuff like that. So she's not one that I take out to the events. She's really territorial. She likes her own little space and whatnot. Whereas this Asian water monitor here would be fine in a setting like that, I think. Hey, Jen made it. How you doing? I'm coming in right there at the tail end. I'm doing my best to keep my energy level up. This coffee may or may not help. Oh, he said somebody has got a bunch of berms available right now. Who is that? No. Where's that? Where's the last person that he talked about? Okay. Well, guys, I think we're going to get ready to call it a night. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah. It's been a long day. We got a lot done. So I'm going to jump off of here and finish up, get this beast down here, see if I can do it without blowing my back out. And I think tomorrow we'll take a break, and hopefully we have a little bit extra time sometime this next week. If you guys got anything that you want to see coming up, by all means, jump down in the comments in one of the videos and let me know. And we're going to jump off of here, and we will see you guys no later than next Saturday at 8 Eastern. You guys have a good night.